Edward Lowe, a name whispered with fear and disgust. Born in Westminster, England, his early life hinted at the brutality to come. A thief and a gambler from his youth, Lowe craved easy riches. He found his calling in the pirate haven of New Providence in the Bahamas. The year was 1717. The golden age of piracy was in full swing. Lowe joined a pirate crew, quickly rising through the ranks. He possessed a cunning mind and a ruthlessness that set him apart. He soon commanded his own ship, a sloop named the Fancy. The Fancy, a fast and agile vessel, became a symbol of terror under Lowe's command. He wasted no time in establishing himself as a force to be reckoned with. Lowe targeted merchant ships, preying on the vulnerable trade routes along the American coast. His cruelty knew no bounds. He reveled in the suffering of his victims, often torturing them for hours before taking their lives. The name Edward Lowe became synonymous with fear and brutality. Lowe's reign of terror lasted from 1722 to 1724. He commanded a small fleet of ships, striking fear into the hearts of sailors across the Atlantic. His preferred hunting grounds were the Caribbean and the coasts of North America and West Africa. He plundered ships laden with valuable cargo, amassing a fortune in stolen goods. But Lowe's brutality set him apart from other pirates. He was not content with simply stealing treasure. He took pleasure in inflicting pain. He would often torture his victims for hours, delighting in their screams. His cruelty became legendary. It is said that he once cut off a captain's lips and made him eat them. Another time, he burned a man alive slowly for refusing to reveal where he had hidden his treasure. These acts of barbarity spread throughout the seas, cementing Lowe's reputation as a monster. Lowe's flag struck terror into the hearts of sailors. It was a stark contrast to the black Jolly Roger commonly used by pirates. Lowe's flag was a blood-red field upon which stood a menacing black figure. This figure, often interpreted as a skeleton or a devil, represented death and damnation. The red flag held a particular significance in pirate lore. It signified no quarter. It meant that Lowe and his crew would show no mercy. They would take no prisoners and would kill without hesitation. The black figure on the red field amplified this message, painting a chilling picture of the gruesome fate that awaited those who crossed Lowe. The flag became a symbol of Lowe himself. It represented his ruthlessness, his bloodlust, and his utter disregard for human life. It served as a warning, a grim reminder of the horrors that awaited those who dared to defy the authority of Edward Lowe. Section 4. Mayhem on the High Seas. Lowe's reign of terror reached its peak in 1723. He commanded a fleet of 4 ships and over 150 men. His flagship, the Fancy, was a fearsome sight. Armed with 14 cannons, it outgunned most merchant vessels. Lowe's fleet wreaked havoc in the Caribbean, capturing dozens of ships. They plundered ships carrying sugar, rum, and slaves. They tortured captains and crews for information and amusement. Lowe's cruelty became more extreme. He seemed to revel in the fear he instilled in his victims. One infamous incident involved a Portuguese ship laden with treasure. Lowe captured the ship off the coast of Brazil. He then proceeded to torture the crew for days, even cutting off the ears of one man and forcing him to eat them. Section 5. Lowe's barbarity knows no bounds. The brutality of Edward Lowe stands out even in the brutal world of piracy. He seemed to take a sadistic pleasure in inflicting pain. His methods of torture were legendary, whispered among sailors in hushed tones. He was known to use a variety of gruesome techniques, including whipping, burning, and mutilation. He would often keep his victims alive for days, prolonging their suffering for his own amusement. One story tells of a ship captain who refused to surrender his cargo. Lowe became enraged. He tied the captain to the mast of his ship and lit a slow-burning fire beneath him. He then forced the captain's crew to watch as their leader burned to death. These acts of barbarity are difficult to comprehend. They paint a picture of a man devoid of empathy. They cement Lowe's place as one of the most brutal pirates in history. Section 6. The Final Enigma. The end of Lowe's reign of terror came as abruptly as it began. In 1724, he disappeared from the historical record. The circumstances of his disappearance remain shrouded in mystery. Some believe he was captured and hanged, while others claim he met a more violent end at the hands of his own crew. One theory suggests that Lowe was captured by the French Navy off the coast of Africa. Another claims he was killed in a mutiny by his own crew, who had grown tired of his unpredictable temper and extreme cruelty. The lack of concrete evidence has allowed legend and speculation to flourish. Some say Lowe escaped capture and lived out his days in obscurity. Others believe he continued his piratical ways under a new alias, his reign of terror continuing long after his supposed demise. Edward Lowe's fate remains a mystery, but his legacy of brutality and terror continues to fascinate and horrify us centuries later. He stands as a stark reminder of the dark side of human nature and the horrors that can unfold when greed and ambition go unchecked.